I hear you may get locked out if you are on the other side of the fence. Come, ladies and gentlemen. All right, good to see everybody here. Very good. Okay, and I'm so happy to celebrate with you. Everybody show your flags. Everybody show your flags. Blow your whistles. Today is a day we celebrate. Whether it's one person, 100 people, 1,000 people, 10,000 people. Are we ready to thrive, not just survive? Everybody be ready. Hang on! Right, we're gonna start. And this is for us to say what we need to say. Alright guys, over to Jaslyn right here.
Okay, while we are still waiting for the last few minutes, please, our merchandise booth is behind. Please support SDP by going to our booth, get a copy of books, get some of our merchandise. We need all the help and we need all the support we can to continue this fight. And also, may I take this opportunity to also thank not just our volunteers, but also our policemen that is working very hard. Thanks for keeping this place orderly and safe for us, in case I don't have the opportunity to thank you all. I know you're all over the place looking at us. I know you're making sure that we are very safe. Thank you very much for doing your work.
Let's give them a big round of applause, everybody. Come on, let's give them a big hand. They're keeping Singapore safe. Very important for us as well. Thank you so much, all of you. Okay, we're about to start very soon. All right, everybody just gather around. Thank you.
One guy.
I hear you. Majulah Singapura. Yes, Majulah Singapura, Majulah SDP, Majulah every Singaporeans. We don't just want to survive, we want to thrive. And not they thrive and we survive. So Majulah Singapura, Majulah every Singaporeans.
And every Singaporean it should be. Because basically, ladies and gentlemen, I was just talking to her in the car. And I just said, don't you think that everything in Singapore is so expensive? Is it expensive? Yes! Is it very expensive? Yes! And we are supposed to thrive, okay? Not just survive. Every day we are going through, taking everything from transport all the way. I saw transport just go up and the prices are just immense. And everything else, let alone. I just came back from Penang. I spent half of what I spent in Singapore. Correct or not? I just came back from Bintan. I spent half of what I spent if I was in Singapore. It's almost equivalent to buying an air ticket or a ferry ticket and you live for half the price. Why is that so?
Bernard, you know why is it so?
Why?
At those countries that you pay the cheapest, they don't pay their minister as much as we pay ours.
Is that true? Is that true? Yes! I want to know, okay, because I am here and I am somebody who is just arrived here. And I want to say thank you. And I want to say thank you for everybody for your heart support for SDP. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. Give yourself a big hand, everybody. Because you allow yourselves to speak. So come, everybody. We're going to start soon.
It's not all. Every places they have to submit a certain place. When is amount?
Oh, I didn't know that. Sorry.
No, it says. Sorry. Yes.
Not yet until Monday. Yeah, not yet until Monday. I'm going to go, but it's not yet until Monday.
Thank you, SDP. I can hear that. Good evening, Bukit Panjang residents and all those from all over Singapore. Welcome to our rally at Bukit Panjang.
My name is Akmal, and together with me is Jesslyn. We are going to be your MCs for today.
Thank you very much. 五级半让的居民，我们新加坡民主党来了，来了！我们很需要你们的支持，我们很需要你投我们 Paul Tambaya 的一票，把它送入国会。不要一票，要很多票。这里的居民，只要你们是五级半让的居民，请投我们新加坡民主党一票，因为只有新加坡民主党上了那个国会，他们才可以为你发言。
Alright, before we invite the first speaker on stage, I will need you guys to support him by cheering very loud so that he got the motivation to speak on the stage. This is his first time speaking on the stage, and I hope you give him the best of and fullest of support. Can you do that? I cannot hear you. Can you do that?
Before you do that, come, let's have our war cry. SDP!
SDP!
SDP! Thank you very much. Let us have a warm welcome to our first speaker.
Azhar Sulaiman. He is a property agent with many accolades, and he has been active on the ground in Bukit Panjang and even Marsiling UT. So, Azhar, please take the stage.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you. My name is Azhar Sulaiman. It's truly an honor to be standing before you tonight. Before we begin, have everyone had your dinner? Okay, great. Now, by a show of hand, how many of you live here in Bukit Panjang? All right, awesome. Okay, you know this place isn't just a SMC to me, it's a home. I grew up here at Gangsa Road, and I spent more than 28 years living among you, sharing the same LRT that broke down more times than we can count. I studied at Fajar Secondary School. Some of you may remember it. It's at the end of Gangsa Road. Today, it's been merged into what is known as Greenridge Secondary. When I walked past it recently, I felt a deep sadness. The name, the logo, the identity, it all have been changed. It reminded me, though, not to the same extent, of course, of what we are witnessing in Palestine. Places being renamed, identity erased, history being wiped away. We then must ask ourselves, what kind of future are we leaving behind if we allow our roots to be forgotten, if our voice go unheard? But let me be clear, I love Bukit Panjang. I'm a real estate agent by trade or profession for the past 12 years. I would market myself as Bukit Panjang resident agent. I would push as much of my clients to buy a house in Bukit Panjang as much as possible. I remember there's this one client of mine, I sold her house in Boon Lay. She wanted Tampines, but in the end, she buy a house in Jelapang. Yeah, Jelapang, yeah. To the outsider, Bukit Panjang is very ulu. It's not very popular or matured like Jurong or Bedok. But I always tell them, zoom out our Singapore map. We are nearly the center of the island. We are the heart of the island. We are like Toa Payoh, but on the opposite side. So let's talk about something close to my heart, the HDB resale market. Over the years, I closed hundreds of transactions. I've met hundreds more who couldn't buy due to complicated cases, policies, or not enough loan. If you take the figures from HDB website, prices have grown 37% in just 4 short years. And the numbers are just an estimate or median range by HDB. 2 days ago, I calculated for a client of mine in Senja Road, their house increased by 65%. 65. From the price that they had bought just 5 years ago. And no, I'm not exaggerating it. I still have all their figures, unit number on my phone. So, are you not afraid what's coming? Do you think our children can afford to buy houses in the future? Do you believe when the PP says our HDB are still affordable? Prices have been increasing since 2020, nearly 5 years now. The PAP could have done something, but they did not do enough to curb or control it. If the prices of our house is increasing by 8 to 10% every year, it's definitely not healthy. Not only did PAP not do anything to curb it, it may have contributed to the price increment. How so, you may ask? Do you remember when they announced that they had increased or doubled our grant for resale market, for resale buyers? On the surface, it looks good. But it turned out that sellers out there feel that they can sell higher now because buyer can afford more after the grant. So that, of course, contributed to the 37% increment in just 4 years. So either the PAP have been slacking or devoid of fresh ideas. Yes, they just turn into giving out more grants, which are just a short-term solution. It seems like a pattern, huh? Giving out vouchers, give out rebates, eggs for $1. Yeah, maybe they like short-term solution than a longer one. I joined SDP more than 12 years ago as a volunteer and member. I had helped the candidates before this to contest Bukit Panjang SMC for the previous few elections. Yes, but for our last election here in Bukit Panjang, it was extra painful. I couldn't sleep for the few days after that. Professor Paul Tambayao, without any dark or stained history, a near perfect credential and reputation, an infectious disease expert in the middle of COVID, but we still lose the election by a mere 4%. It was the highest vote share among all candidates that lost in an SMC. But, like what Dr. Chi said last night, PAP offer or dangle fear, but we SDP offer hope. Yeah. Bukit Panjang in short stand for BP. It also stands for brave people. We will be the beacon of hope shining brightly from the north. Let PAP know courageous is contagious. Bravery is not that we don't have any fear, but because we overcome the fear that they had tried to instill on us from the very young. So come 3rd May, you, the brave people of Bukit Panjang, let's vote Dr. Paul into the parliament. Let's send them a message. We are not statistics. We are a community. When we stand together, we don't just take part. We take charge. Bukit Panjang, be the beacon of the north. Light the way. Thank you. And jadilah orang yang berani.
So we are a beacon of hope, and we happen to be at Beacon Primary School. How apt that is, right?
And he said, BP stands for what?
Brave people!
I cannot hear you. BP stands for what?
Brave people!
That's right. So the next candidate that will be speaking, or the first candidate will be speaking today or tonight, is a person with brave attitude and with brave character. Guess who is it? Don't know, right? Of course.
But before we introduce him, besides voting for Dr. Paul Tambaya, SDP have 11 candidates that we hope that y'all will help to send them to Parliament. So who are the 11 candidates? We have Sembawang West. Any of our Sembawang West residents here? Sembawang West for Dr. Chi Sundran. Dr. Chi Sundran have to be in Parliament. Thank you. And we have the Muslim UT.
Bustling UT team. Who are the 5 candidates? Is it 5?
5.
Who are the 5 candidates? Cannot hear. Who? 4. 4. Who are the 4 candidates? Jufri?
Jeffrey Salim.
Alfred? 2 more. Arifin? Last one.
Dr. Jijin
Dr.
Wong.
Jijin Wong.
No, it's not Alfred, it's Alec. See, we are testing you. So, Muslim UT, our 4 candidates, we need your vote to send our Muslim UT to Parliament. And then last but not least, our Sembawang GRC. Sembawang GRC, our 5 candidates, one of them will be your speaker, which we will introduce the last. Our first Sembawang candidate, Suraya, who has been with the party for a very long time.
For more than 18 years.
As long as me, I'm sure, because we are both the Tabole Tahan protester together back then in 2008. And then we have...
Okay, but before that, right, because of time constraint, we have the candidate ready. And before that, can I hear some cheers from you, all of you? I cannot hear you. Let's welcome Dr. James Gomez.
Great. Good evening. How are you? Very good, very good. I'm very happy to be here to endorse my colleague, Dr. Paul Tambaya, the candidate for Bukit Panjang. He's a very good man. He's worked very hard. I think he has already got the vote. I'm just here to endorse and support him, and I wish him well, and very grateful to be here as a speaker at Bukit Panjang. But however, dear friends, Singaporeans, I must address the issues in Sembawang GRC and Sembawang West. The title of my speech tonight, is Sembawang Wants Better. SDP will deliver. Fellow Singaporeans, residents of Sembawang West and Sembawang GRC, I'll come straight to the point. Instead of addressing the cost of living and healthcare costs that's hurting Singaporeans, Ong Ye Kung, the PAP's health minister and candidate in Sembawang GRC, spent most of his speech yesterday throwing barbs at the Singapore Democratic Party. Instead of trading barbs or descending into petty politics, I will speak plainly and earnestly. After all, in politics, you must have a certain je ne sais quoi when you address your opponents. Ong frames the contest in Sembawang GRC as a choice between who to include or exclude from the PAP's Sembawang family. So let me be clear with our intentions. The SDP believes elections are about policies, accountability, and representation. It is not about personal ties. It's about selecting leaders who will put you at the core, the well-being of residents. SDP's approach to Sembawang is a comprehensive one. We contest both Sembawang West SMC and Sembawang GRC as part of our northern strategy with a town plan that places residents at its core. It is presumptuous of Ong to assume he has the voters' automatic support in Sembawang GRC. No, he does not. And we in the SDP do not believe in his right to this entitlement. We believe in earning the voters' trust through our commitment to speak for the residents as SDP MPs. MPs who are not afraid to challenge bad policies, MPs who won't be silenced, MPs who will ask the tough questions and fight for better answers. Thank you. So while Ong and the PAP argue who should be in or out of their family, the SDP is here to build a larger, more inclusive Sembawang community, one where every voice is heard and every resident matters. And while we are in the subject of Ong's Sembawang family, Ong should ask himself why he abandoned his Aljunied family. And why other PAP MPs move around different constituencies. Let's be reminded, Ong lost in Aljunied in 2011, and he parachuted in 2015 into a Sembawang GRC whose boundary was redrawn. The key thing, the boundary was redrawn. Contrary to his claims that the SDP has only recently shown interest in Sembawang, our engagement in Sembawang has spanned 2 decades, 20 years. We have been actively involved in community outreach, listening to residents, understanding their needs, and standing for elections. After several walkover elections for the PAP, the SDP broke ground and contested the elections in Sembawang in 2006. And we went further and contested again in 2011. And in 2011, the SDP secured the largest swing, voter swing in a GRC in its favor. However, through a redrawing of boundaries, in 2015, a large part of Sembawang was cut out and created the new Marsiling UT GRC. So 10 years ago, there is no Marsiling UT GRC, but it was cut out of Sembawang. So the SDP made a choice then to remain and contest in Marsiling UT in 2015 and 2020. While the original Sembawang GRC continued to be decimated by the redrawing of boundaries. In 2022, the SDP decided to bring into its focus Sembawang GRC, which evolved as a natural extension of our ground operation in the nearby Marsiling UT GRC, as well as the changes in the electoral boundaries. Many of the residential and commercial areas have close ties, and with regular redrawing of the boundaries in the northern constituencies, there emerged a natural connection and strategy. And we saw this opportunity within the northern strategy. But apart from the synergies arising from the common boundaries, why did the SDP make this move? For years, we had heard concerns and dissatisfaction with the PAP and Ong's team, from cluttered corridors and stairwells, water runoffs and floodings caused by heavy rains, amenities development being unresponsive to the changing demographics of the elderly, young people, and young families, overcrowding in common areas around the MRT stations, and very, very dirty public toilets, and the list goes on. The message to us was the town council under Ong Ye Kung had failed to address these issues. We have seen firsthand how these concerns remain unresolved till today. Residents also expressed to us that they want a strong electoral contender against the PAP in Sembawang GRC, who will not only listen, but also act to resolve these long-standing issues. So, the SDP put Ong Ye Kung on notice in 2022, that's 3 years ago. And let me remind you what Ong said in 2022 when we made our announcement. He said, "We look forward to a healthy contest and will do our best to win the mandate of the people." But Ong has forgotten all this and chooses now to misrepresent the situation to the voters of Sembawang. Since 2022, the SDP has been in quiet preparations as we listen to the concerns of the Sembawang GRC residents. We conducted house visits, distributed flyers, conducted public meet and greet appearances. If you look around Sembawang these elections, you will see our posters and banners were set up in a timely manner. If you look even more closely in Sembawang, you will notice the SDP has the largest poster in the constituency. The desire to have SDP MPs elected in Sembawang GRC and Sembawang SMC is strong. You see it reflected in the growing team of dedicated and energetic volunteers who are largely from Sembawang and who are driven by the belief that real change is possible if we stand together as a community. To address the residents of Sembawang, tomorrow, the SDP will release its town plan. It will lay out our vision for a well-maintained Sembawang and an inclusive community. These are the reasons why we are contesting in Sembawang GRC and Sembawang West SMC as part of SDP's Northern Strategy that also includes Marsiling UT. The attempt this afternoon by PAP's Alex Yam of Marsiling UT GRC to press for explanation for the action taken by political parties to the changes in electoral boundaries is moot, because part of the problem is the absence of an independent election commission. And the opaqueness around the redrawing of boundaries, issues that need to be fixed by a multi-party parliament. I want to end by responding to one final point Ong made yesterday. He claimed that electing an SDP MP would harm Singapore's international credibility. That is just fake news. A strong political system is not built on one-party domination. It is built on checks and balances, robust debate, and the freedom of diverse voices to shape a shared future. Around the world, countries with credible political systems are respected, not because they silence the opposition, but because they embrace it. Rather than expecting what Ong Ye Kung wants you to believe or wants us to believe, having SDP MPs in Parliament will not diminish our international reputation. It will only enhance it. It will show the world that Singaporeans want domestic political accountability, that we will not settle for a system that only serves one party but one that works for all. So our vision for Sembawang and indeed for Singapore is a future where every voice counts, where policies are made for people, not handed to them. Our presence in Sembawang is a deliberate, well thought out response to electoral changes, ground realities, and the growing demand from residents for a real contest and for a real representation. At SDP, we do not trade barbs. We have a certain je ne sais quoi the PAP will never understand. Vote for SDP, vote for SDP MPs, and thank you very much and have a good evening.
You know, fellow Singaporeans, the PAP can cut here or cut there, but they can never cut SDP spirits away. No matter where they cut, we will always be there for you Singaporeans. They cut Bukit Batok, we go Sembawang West. Let's not be afraid of them. This is what SDP stands for. We are resilient. We never say die. So, fellow Singaporeans, follow me. SDP!
SDP!
SDP! Come May 3rd, I urge all our fellow Singaporeans, when you go to the polling, please vote our 11 candidates into Parliament. Because these 11 candidates have that spirit. We are brave people.
That's right. So, what does BP stands for again? Correct. So, in order for us to thrive, for the party to thrive, I need you guys to look at the back. There's a few tents for you to purchase some merchandise so that the party can thrive in a way, right?
Yes, election is not cheap. We need all the support we can from all of you to buy our merchandise so that we can continue with this fight.
Yeah, so Jaslyn, what's there in at the tents? I can see flags, t-shirt. What t-shirt is that?
Whistle. I think we have whistle. Go over there, buy whistle so that we can hear you, Pum Pipi, okay? Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I also can see a Tak Boleh Tahan t-shirt. Do you have the t-shirt or not?
I actually have the first Tak Boleh Tahan t-shirt. Later I'll wear it. That t-shirt is a collector's item because I think in Singapore there might only be two. One belongs to me and the other belongs to Chee Seok Chin because we are the only two that doesn't have our t-shirt confiscated. So later, let me wear for you and show you. That was back in 2008. SDP has already raised that, the rising cost of living has made your Singaporeans tak boleh tahan.
Repeat after me. Tak boleh tahan. Correct.
Fast forward to 2025. Same PAP government. Has they made your life better? So, we need all your help. We need all the residents that all our candidates are contesting to vote. And those non-residents, we also need your help to go to our booth, go and buy our merchandise, and also sign up for volunteers. We need polling agents. We need counting agents. We need also all our ground ops.
Yeah, ground ops,
help
fire
us,
distribution.
Correct, do door to door. Yes, we need all the help we can. Because we are in all this together. We are all fellow Singaporeans. SDP don't just want y'all to thrive. No, don't just want y'all to survive. We want y'all to thrive. And to thrive, we have to do it together. Okay? Now, let's introduce our next speaker.
So, our next speaker is master of pantun. You know what's pantun, right? The poetry. So, I'm not sure whether he's gonna say some Malay poems here, but let's see what he's got today. And I hope you guys give him your fullest support. Can you do it? Okay, let's invite Encik Daman Huri Abbas.
SDP!
Good evening, everyone. Although I cannot see you so much, but I know you are there. We are very happy to be back in Bukit Panjang to meet you after 10 years in a rally stage. And we want tonight to bring Dr. Paul as your new MP on the 3rd of May. Can we do that? Fellow Singaporeans and voters, this general election feels like 2011 again, when the opposition defeated the PAP in a GRC for the first time. Do you remember that? That Aljunied miracle was a dream come true for many Singaporeans who may have lost hope. The formidable political threat that the PAP created to benefit themselves, a huge wall for them to hide behind, can be conquered. And this gerrymandering weapon of choice, called the GRC, is now becoming a two-edged sword. Malaysia senjata makan tuan. It was made for them to take anyone they like into parliament on the coattails of their $1 million paid ministers. But now, he or she can potentially get booted out together with his or her PAP GRC team. And if anyone still have any doubt, in 2020, Sengkang GRC confirms, yes, it really works. It can be done. Another PAP minister did get booted out. Remember? In this 2025 general election, we see the same old PAP gerrymandering trick at work. Probably the most shameful way. Bukit Batok disappears just like that. Why? Because they think they will lose. Why are they so afraid of facing Dr. Chi in Parliament? Takut apa? You simply erase the hard work of Dr. Chi for the last 10 years, winning the hearts and minds of Bukit Batok residents by resorting to tactics of a playground bully. And Mr. Ong Ye Kang last night at the PAP rally accused Dr. Chi of abandoning Bukit Batok. My God. Mr. Ong, I thought you were a better man. I spend my free time while in university helping troubled youth, listening to their life challenges. You know what they will say to this kind of thing? Alamak, tak gentleman. Ah. What kind of people are these? Even those troubled kids have the moral conscience to know and want a fair fight. He should look in the mirror and ask himself why he hilang from Aljunied, like what James say, right? after 2011. Better still, if he is so worried about Dr. Chi, Malay say, masuk gelanggang lah. When Dr. Chi announced very early, after they took away Bukit Batok from him, he is going to Sembawang West SMC, Mr. Ong should offer himself to contest with Dr. Chi man to man, right? At Sembawang West SMC. Baru betul jantan. Tapalah. Sadly, we are still dealing with a reality that allowed the PAP to maintain an uneven political playing field, where they can move the goalposts, kelong the referee, and don't want VAR. You know what VAR, right? Those football fans? Tamo VAR. So on 3rd May, voters of Sembawang Sembawang SMC, of course, Sembawang GRC also, because we are also contesting. And those here and those watching at home, you can do the right thing and get Dr. Chi into Parliament. Can? But tonight, we are in Bukit Panjang SMC. Tonight, it must be about Dr. Paul. I call him the gentle giant of a man. He is a professor, but he speaks like us. Listens to the voices of the common folks. A people's doctor, through and through. Always focused on finding a way to help and give a solution to anything that we throw at him. And he does it with a contagious smile. Have you seen Dr. Paul smile? Even when he corrects us at times. Beyond his God-given personality just described, he is also the sharpest policy critic. Amazingly well-read. He shared that he read a few books in a week. Analytically brilliant. Can be penetrating when he asks questions. Yet at the same time, always ready to listen to others and give everyone time and space to be heard. Don't you agree that Dr. Paul, don't you agree that Dr. Paul will make a very good minister? So, Bukit Panjang voters, you almost put him in Parliament in 2020. Remember when we were covered up, our faces were covered up? But then, he had only 9 days of campaigning, remember? To reach you. Because SDP pulled a last-minute surprise. We moved him from a GRC to Bukit Panjang SMC. Now, he has spent the last 5 years working very hard to reach you within the constraints of his doctor and teaching profession. But I am confident a good amount of voters now knows him and are informed of what he can do for you as your MP in Parliament. When you vote him on May the 3rd. So Bukit Panjang, are you ready for change? Can we put Dr. Paul into Parliament? And make Bukit Panjang a base for SDP? So that we can plant our tree of hope for Singapore? Let's do it then. Allow me to speak in Malay now. Para pengundi Bukit Panjang, anda bakal melantik seorang anggota parlimen yang akan menjadi pemangkin. Pemangkin is catalyst. Perubahan, change. Yang rakyat Singapura menanti-nantikan. That we have all been waiting. Dr. Paul adalah seorang doktor dan profesor yang berjiwa rakyat. Prihatin dengan masalah dan cabaran yang dihadapi oleh golongan terpinggir, the marginalized, dan golongan yang kurang mendapat perhatian, those that the PAP don't pay attention to. Pertama kali saya berjumpa beliau ialah pada tahun 2015, sewaktu pilihan raya pada kali itu. Apabila saya timbulkan isu-isu masyarakat Melayu, beliau sangat bersedia untuk mendengar dan bersikap terbuka untuk memahami keluhan dan hasrat masyarakat kita. Isu-isu seperti diskriminasi ke atas anggota NS Melayu yang masih berlaku, meritokrasi yang terpilih, kurangnya orang Melayu yang berkelayakan berpangkat tinggi dalam perkhidmatan awam, dan lain-lain lagi adalah antara perkara-perkara yang Dr. Paul dan SDP bersedia untuk ketengahkan jika beliau dilantik sebagai MP di Parlimen. Masyarakat Melayu perlu jujur dan terima hakikat bahawa 60 tahun menunggu perubahan-perubahan yang diharapkan melalui rayuan, teguran, sindiran dan terus bersabar menanti ternyata tidak berhasil. PAP hanya menggunakan barisan MP Melayu mereka sebagai benteng untuk meneruskan apapun kepentingan mereka tanpa mengambil kira perasaan dan pengorbanan para pemimpin PAP Melayu mereka sendiri dan para pemimpin masyarakat kita yang lain yang telah lama memilih untuk mengambil pendekatan dialog belakang tabir. Jika ada lagi yang masih berlapang dada dan bersangka baik apa yang berlaku baru-baru ini dengan keceluparan seorang yang terpengaruh lagi dekat dengan PAP melukakan dengan parah hati masyarakat kita, melontarkan kata-kata nista dan cukup biadab, membuktikan masyarakat kita harus cari cara yang lain untuk menjaga kepentingan kita. Kemarahan masyarakat bukan kerana kata-kata dia saja, tetapi lebih mengecewakan kita ialah bagaimana kepimpinan tertinggi PAP memilih untuk tidak mengenakan tindakan tegas undang-undang yang sedia ada terhadap durjana itu. Mereka pernah lakukannya untuk individu-individu lain. Kenapa tidak ke atas si durjana ini? Malahan sebaliknya menggunakan beberapa tokoh-tokoh agama masyarakat kita sebagai alat untuk mendiamkan masyarakat. Menteri yang bertanggungjawab untuk masyarakat kita cuba meredakan kemarahan kita dengan 1000 alasan yang sebenarnya membuat masyarakat kita lebih marah. Kerana maruah kita sanggup digadai demi kepentingan kuasa mereka. Maka jelaslah 60 tahun berkiblat PAP belum mampu mengubah sikap pilih kasih mereka terhadap masyarakat kita. Telah tiba masanya untuk masyarakat kita menggunakan kuasa di tangan kita melalui undi kita semua dan memberi isyarat jelas dan memilih parti pembangkang umumnya dan SDP khasnya dalam pilihan raya kali ini. Sebagai kaum minoriti, kita sentiasa memerlukan kerjasama dari kepimpinan politik semasa menerusi parlimen untuk mengubah nasib kita. Kalau kita imbas sejarah junjungan Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam pada waktu permulaan perjuangan baginda, wujud seorang tokoh bernama Abu Talib, di mana keberadaan beliau telah banyak sekali membantu Rasulullah SAW. Berdepan dengan cabaran-cabaran golongan mereka yang berniat jahat dan golongan yang bersekongkol dengan mereka. Beliau, Abu Talib, adalah seorang bukan Islam. Mungkin dengan memilih untuk melantik Dr. Paul sebagai wakil rakyat Bukit Panjang anda ke parlimen, beliau bakal menjadi Abu Talib kita yang akan membantu masyarakat kita bersuara dengan lebih jujur dan lebih baik dari sebelum ini, insya-Allah. Finally, voters of Bukit Panjang, you are poised to make history. If you vote for Dr. Paul in this election and get him elected into parliament as your SDP MP, we in the SDP will do our utmost best for you with him to serve and protect your interests and be your loudest voice in our next parliament. So, vote for Dr. Paul. Thank you and good night.
SDP, SDP. Just now what I told you, I will wear the original Tak Boleh Tahan t-shirt here. This is the original Tak Boleh Tahan t-shirt that I wore in 2008 to attend the protest against the rising cost of living. And you know what? I cannot even wash this t-shirt because it's don't know what print. If I wash, all the thing will be fade away.
Correct. So if you want to get yours, a replica one, of course not original one, you can get the one at the tentage behind or even at the on your left hand side of the field. Yep.
And you know what I'm going to do? This t-shirt has been with me in 2008. But in order to support the party, in order to support this election, I'm willing to let this go to the highest bidder. Please approach our merchandise. You can have this original t-shirt. Let me tell you, in Singapore, there's only two. One belongs to me and the other one belongs to Dr. Chi's sister, Chi Seok Chin. So I am willing to let it go. Please bid for this. Go to our merchandise. Tell them the price and they will let me know. And you can have this t-shirt. Collector's item. 2 pieces in Singapore only.
Nice one. Okay, actually I can see a lot of spaces there. Those who are actually outside the field can actually come in. There's a lot more space on the my left hand side. So please stream in slowly. Don't push, don't run. And you can actually see much better and clearer.
Yeah, and also be careful because the field is a bit muddy and slippery. Please look out for each other. We are fellow Singaporeans. We look out for each other. So let me say something in Chinese for our residents, Chinese residents. 五七八让的居民们，你们好。那个生活费一直的上涨，我们人民Tak Boleh Tahan了，对不对？我们人民Tak Boleh Tahan了，所以我们很需要你们的支持，我们很需要你们投我们一票，投我们淡米亚博士，投他一票，让他进入国会替你们发言。还有，我们的新加坡民主党的徐顺全，他为我们人民发声了超过30年，人民这是时候把他送入国会。 Sembawang West 的居民，如果你们今天在的话，请给你们最大的欢呼声，我要听到。为 Dr. Chi 本 BB 的居民 ，Come, give me your whistle, give me your 本 BB for Dr. Chi. He is the most deserving person in the whole of Singapore to be in Parliament.
Dr. Chi, Dr. Chi, Dr. Chi, Dr. Chi.
还有，我很贪心，我还有10位候选人，我也希望你把他们送入国会。我们的 Sembawang GRC 还有我们的 Muslim UT 的候选人，我们很需要你的支持，把他们送入国会。
Okay. I will stop you right there because our next candidate is ready there. Can't wait to go up on the stage to address you all. So he's from Sembawang GRC. The name starts with an A. Guess who is it? Alfred. Yes, let's welcome Alfred.
SDP! SDP!
Well, some time has already passed, so we want to just check. Hello, people from Bukit Panjang. Where are you? Good. People from Muslim UT, are you here? Sembawang West. Good. And the GRC I'm standing in, Sembawang GRC, are you here? Fantastic. Well, we know the problems with our Singapore political system. I'm not going to repeat it. You know, we have a messed up election system. We have a GRC system where we allow people to move in on the coattails of more prominent ministers. We know the issues that we see, no matter how much the government denies, of Mr. Mandarin. Despite all that, SDP will fight on for Singaporeans. Mr. Ong Ye Kung went to Aljunied GRC, tried to prove himself, and he lost. He lost in a GRC. What did Dr. Chee Soon Juan did? He went to Bukit Batok, worked on the ground for 10 years. He lost narrowly at the last general election. And what happened? He wanted to prove himself again. But what happened? PAP takut. They remove it before Dr. Chee can prove himself. We have one person who couldn't prove himself in Aljunied GRC. Now he makes sure somebody else couldn't prove himself in Bukit Batok. Never mind. Sembawang GRC Town Council, when we take over, Sembawang West residents, don't worry. We will also look after you. My fellow Singaporeans, let us redefine success. The PAP chases GDP like a religion. It even uses the GDP as a justification for their obscene salaries the government pays itself. I pain also. The most money paid out to public servants in the world. for one of the smallest country in the world. More money paid to themselves. Cannot compare even to the richest country in the world. Singapore minister salaries have no match. That audacity. The Singapore government dare to pay themselves a lot more than even the biggest and richest country in the world. And we are a small country. The Singapore government blindly chase GDP because it is a number it can plainly use to manage its agenda. Why? Increase the GDP at all costs. That's what it says. Chase GDP as a number, like what businesses and companies do to chase sales turnover and profits. They want to run Singapore like a business. Let's talk about the recent GST increase. Increase the GST, you increase the GDP too. Clever. I increase 2% overall, the GDP will also increase 2% at a minimum, since the prices will be higher now. If the GDP of Singapore is US 500 billion, you increase 2%, it will go up by another US 10 billion. Easy thing, very easy for the PAP government to do when it is driven and focused by GDP as a KPI. And especially with not much answering to do in Parliament. After all, there's only 10 dissenting votes. I let them make the noise, I don't care. The PAP government bulldozed its way to have the GST increased, despite protests from the opposition. The government claimed the increase is needed. The government claimed it collects only what is needed and only when it's necessary. The government claimed that it is careful, prudent in its estimates. It prides itself as first class, since it pays itself so much money for the exemplary work it does. Nobody can do a better job than the PAP government, it thinks. Yeah, that's right. Because that is what the PAP government also want you to think. But you are smart. And what? Lo and behold, it ended with a surplus of $6 billion. So much for its financial management. Poor marksmanship. Bobo King. No marksmanship award. Boyzuna. Jin Boyzun. Is the GST still justified? Was it needed? Now, who scrutinized the proposal in the first place? Who asked the hard questions? Sembawang GRC residents. Did your Sembawang MPs voted for it? Did they agree that GST was truly needed? Did they take the government to task for the overestimation and overcollection? Yeah, they just keep quiet. Is that what your voice in Parliament sounds like? Hey, increasing tax is not a simple thing. It is a hard decision. You can use your rationalization to justify it. Easy. But if you had considered your people, hard-working Singaporeans who had suffered through a tough post-COVID period, who had suffered job losses and decreased income, with global uncertainty all around. Now, did your MPs consider the residents' concerns? Residents who had put their trust and future in their hands? Did your Sembawang MPs feel for you? Did they feel your hearts? Did they understand your hearts? Do they even have hearts? Did you expect your elected PAP MPs to voice your concerns and stop the GST increase? What has Ong Ye Kung and his merry team of 4 other MPs say to prevent this unnecessary increase? You think they will tell their boss no? Or maybe they were sleeping? Or worse, they don't care what you think. Did they speak your voice? Or did they make you listen to their boss's voice? Is it your voice or their voice? SDP MPs will not take your voice and concerns for granted. What kind of MPs do you want to represent you? MPs working for you or MPs making you work for them? Vote carefully, my dear residents. Do not forget the pain and frustrations you have suffered in the last 5 years. Remember that. Remember the pain, remember the frustration. GDP does not measure happiness. It does not measure mental health, family time, or dignity. And that is why the SDP proposes using the Genuine Progress Indicator, GPI, a scorecard of sorts, is a measure that accounts for social, environmental, and emotional well-being. Because real progress is not just in dollars. It is in the dignity of our elderly, the hope of our youth, the strength of our communities. It means truly living. Living as human beings, and not as economic cogs and gears, thrown aside and discarded once you pass your usefulness. It is not what it is. It must be about who you are, and not about what you are. Now we gather at the crossroads in our nation's story. A moment not just to reflect, but to choose. To choose not merely with calculation, not just with numbers, but with heart. Because in the toughest decisions on housing, healthcare, education, wages, workers' safeguards, and dignity, it is our collective conscience that must guide us forward. For too long, our policies have been driven by cold economics, not warm empathy. Now, under the PAP rule, Singapore's economy has undoubtedly grown. But ask yourself, for whom has it grown? GDP has increased. Foreign PMET's cost of living has soared. But the wages at the bottom have not kept pace. Foreign investment may have continued, but the social cost is paid by the average Singaporean, struggling with long hours, high costs, and job insecurity. Now we at the Singapore Democratic Party say this must change. And change begins by making hard decisions with the heart. Now let me leave you with a quote by Albert Einstein, that brilliant genius. What did he say? He said that the world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but by those who watch them without doing anything. Bring SDP MPs into parliament. We are competent. We are constructive. We are compassionate. We carry our values as we bring your voices into parliament. Vote for SDP. Ondela SDP. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Alfred. Vote for SDP. Vote for our candidates to be in Parliament.
So, the next candidate, first day, he already made a powerful speech. Now, he's making a more powerful speech. And here is Arifin. Arifin, please.
Our youngest candidate, Arifin.
Residents of Bukit Panjang SMC! Tacha Wan Shang Hao! Apa khabar? Anaivarakkum varakam. Thank you, thank you. First of all, I want all of you to give a round of applause to yourselves for coming down here tonight, despite the rain, despite the traffic. You do that because you want to make an informed decision for yourself and for the future of Singapore on the 3rd of May. My fellow Singaporeans, take a moment to let it all sink in and savor this moment. Trust me, this night at Beacon Primary School and the 3rd of May are 2 dates that you will be telling your children and your family about for generations to come. The eyes, remember guys, tonight this is the only rally in Singapore. I want to introduce you all to a magic number. Anybody wants a magic number? Okay. 2509. Okay? Don't go and buy 4D. But if you buy 4D, remember to donate a bit to the party also lah. You know, for the PAP's rallies, right, they charter buses. They give chicken rice. Nasi lemak also maybe, yeah. We don't have buses, we don't have chicken rice, we only have the spirit of the rakyat. Well, brothers and sisters, jokes aside, jokes aside, 2509 is the number of votes that decided Bukit Panjang SMC at the last election. Just 2,509 votes. So remember, every vote counts. So for those of you who are overseas and whatnot, please send in your postal ballots. Before the ballot box, we are all equal. It doesn't matter if you're a $1 million minister or a working class hero. We all get one vote, one opportunity to change our lives and to build the new way forward for Singapore together. Guys, I need to finish my speech, guys. Okay, listen. In the SDP, right, we always fight hard, but we fight fair, like gentlemen. What's on the table tonight is the values that we want to uphold as a society. What are the values that we want to impart to our children? In football terms, we go for the ball, not the man. Last week, the ELD, the Elections Department of Singapore, said that candidates should avoid negative campaigning and denigrating their opponents. Dr. Chi gave a speech last night at Choa Chu Kang Stadium. How many of you were there at Choa Chu Kang Stadium last night? That's good, that's good. Dr. Chi's speech was focused on the future of Singapore and policies, bread and butter issues, and a single-minded focus on wanting to serve Singaporeans. But at the same time that our rally was going on at Choa Chu Kang Stadium, a few MRT stations away, I don't know how often ministers take MRT, so they may not get the reference. The Health Minister and Sembawang MP, Mr. Ong Ye Kung, talked about Dr. Chee Soon Juan. Yeah. Don't just boo, make sure to vote. You might have seen the headlines and the comments on Reddit. Honestly, my fellow Singaporeans, honestly, hand on heart, I was quite surprised to see Minister Ong say that. He's quite a gentleman and he makes good TikToks, I guess. He said that Dr. Chee abandoned Bukit Batok. Honestly, Singaporeans, we have an innate sense of justice. We don't like bullying and we don't like mudslinging. You want to play, you want to fight, you play fair and fight hard. My friends, I want to tell you a story tonight. A story about my friend. Some of you know my friend. His name is Jerry. 你知道 Jerry 吗? Jerry is a very talented man. He's a part-time Picasso and a part-time Houdini. He can draw, redraw, make things appear, and make things disappear. So, do you all know who Jerry is? Mr. Pritam Singh once asked Minister Chan Chun Sing in Parliament, is there gerrymandering in Singapore? Minister Chan Chun Sing said, we leave it to Singaporeans to see for themselves, to decide. So Singaporeans, let me ask you tonight, is there gerrymandering in Singapore? Every election. Bukit Batok SMC, where Dr. Chee spent his blood, sweat and tears working tirelessly for 9 years, was wiped off the mat with a stroke of a pen. But then the PAP say he abandoned. You know, young people, we call this gaslighting. Now, I think we Singaporeans have a few questions for Minister Ong, don't we, my friends? And just like Minister Chan said, I will let the people decide. Number one, Minister Ong himself stood in where in 2011? Aljunied, that's right. And then did he abandon Aljunied when he stood in Sembawang in 2015? DPM gun was shifted at the last minute from Choa Chu Kang to Punggol. Did DPM gun abandon Punggol? Same for Minister Tan See Leng, who took a journey to the west. So it's a crisscross. Finally, and this is my favorite example, Ng Chee Meng. Did Ng Chee Meng abandon Sengkang for Jalan Kayu? My fellow Singaporeans, if this was a football match, we will be saying, referee. One more time, referee. And before I forget, let's not forget our former DPM, Heng Swee Kiat, who until the last minute, we didn't know where he was, right? East Coast Plan, yes. Do you feel that the ministers and MPs are taking Singaporeans for granted? A big margin of victory for the PAP will send the signal that such actions are okay. We can get away with it. The people will forget. It's okay. Is that the signal that you want to send to Singapore? Today, it is Bukit Batok and Marine Parade. Tomorrow, it can be Bukit Panjang or even Sembawang West. But my friends, only you, my fellow Singaporeans, have the power in your hands to stop this. You know, Minister Ong also said something else at the rally in Choa Chu Kang. He said something along the lines of, if Dr. Chee Soon Juan becomes the MP for Sembawang West, I cannot work with the Sembawang West team and we are one Sembawang family. Because his job is to challenge me and his job is to challenge the government. I think he's got it wrong. Dr. Chee's job or any MP's job is not to challenge the government, but to uplift the lives of Singaporeans. Of course, if something is wrong for the people, do we not speak up? Do we not push back? Isn't that what your MP is supposed to do? Instead of petty politics, Minister Ong should be focused on actual issues that are facing everyday Singaporeans. Did Minister Ong say anything about GST rising from 7 to 9%? His focus, I respectfully suggest, should be on healthcare costs and the mental health crisis in Singapore. You know, how many of you remember GE2011? Huh? No jobs. How many of you remember GE2011? Remember during GE 2011, you know, Minister Ong's comments reminds me of a certain comment in GE 2011 where they said Aljunied has 5 years to repent. Remember that? It also reminds me of a comment made by Senior Minister Lee Hsien Loong in 2006 when he said that if there are too many opposition, I have to spend all my time thinking how I can fix them. Remember that? But full credit to Senior Minister Lee Hsien Loong, he did apologize for that. Such tactics have worked in the past, but not anymore. And then this morning, when I was about to finish my speech, I was leaving my house. I saw that this MP, Mr. Alex Yam, made more comments. You know, he said something like, Chee Soon Juan, Dr. Chee has broken his pledge to Bukit Batok residents. I'm not going to respond to his comments, but I just want to ask you one question. So when I Google Mr. Alex Yam's name, I realize he's a mayor. You know, every time I see the word mayor, right, for some reason, I'm reminded of Powerpuff Girls. You know, the mayor of Townsville. But at least, I know what the mayor of Townsville does. Do any of you know what mayors do in Singapore? Guys, how many mayors do you think we have in Singapore? Too many, that's right. Too many. And guys, listen up. Do you know what's a mayor's salary in Singapore? I know it's too much, but how much? Correct. A mayor's salary is more than 600,000 per year. Is this a good use of taxpayers' money? Do we need so many mayors? Do you even know what they do? All we want is for the PAP to play fair and give us a fair playing field. That's all we're asking for. We are Singaporeans. We know which way, how people play fair, and end of the day, let's be real. We all don't like bullies. We may wear different colored shirts, but at the end of the day, we all want only what's best for Singapore and for Singaporeans. Am I right? So enough about the others. See, Dr. Chi has spent his entire adult life fighting for you and fighting for Singapore. Here at the SDP, we are focused on the politics of hope, not the politics of fear. We uplift Singaporeans. We do not punch down. We want to focus on policies. We want to focus on the cost of living. So I hope that this is the end of it. Can we all agree, fellow Singaporeans? We all want Singaporeans to thrive and not just survive. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring the issue back, bring the conversation back to Bukit Panjang SMC. Remember, when you're voting for an MP, you're not just voting for a glorified estate manager. You are voting for an elected representative to voice out for you. Elections are more than just sheltered walkways, my fellow Singaporeans. You know, before the GE, the PAP backbenchers always like to say, oh, we will speak up for Singaporeans, we will speak up without fear. Never even go. No, I mean, their attendance has improved, not as bad as last time. Yeah. You know, to my mind, there's only been a few PAP MPs who have spoken up for the people. Dr. Tan Cheng Bock, Mr. Inderjit Singh, and whom I personally consider the best PAP MP, Mr. Louis Ng. But even then, I must say this, none of them, maybe except Dr. Tan Cheng Bock, actually voted against policies. To be fair, I think Mr. Inderjit Singh did try with the population white paper. But honestly, what is the point of talking but not taking any action? The A in the PAP stands for action, but all we see is wayang. My fellow Singaporeans, remember how many PAP MPs voted against the GST hike? Sorry, I couldn't hear you. How many? The reason why is because they have the PAP whip. The PAP whip says you get in line and everyone gets in line. But, so it doesn't really matter how good or strong your MP is if he's on the back bench. Because if the PAP whip says get in line, everybody falls in line. But they might have the PAP whip, we have the people's rotan. My fellow Singaporeans, on May 3rd, you have two choices. On the one hand, with respect, you have a PAP backbencher. On the other hand, you have Dr. Paul Tambaya, a world-class minister-level person. Dr. Paul Tambaya needs no introduction. What you need is an MP, residents of Bukit Panjang. What you need is an MP who is tireless on the ground, who is relentless in his advocacy, and who is, most importantly, fearless in Parliament. And this part is very important. This part is very important. This part is very important, especially for those of you at home. I want to address some misconceptions, right? In the past few days, you would have seen town plans going around. You see them in Marsiling UT, you see them in Bukit Panjang and whatnot, okay? So earlier today, I was sent a link to a Petir article for Mr. Liang Eng Hua's plans for Bukit Panjang SMC. For those of you who don't know what Petir is like the PAP's newspaper, right? If you think that our mainstream media was bad, so let me read it to you directly. So a line in the Petir article reads, Mr. Liang Eng Hua brought the downtown line to Bukit Panjang and he's not done. You know, somebody reading this would have think that the PAP built the MRTs. I want everyone to take a moment to understand this, okay, and explain this, especially to older voters or people who may not understand the difference between the government, the civil service, and an MP. Your MRT lines, your roads are planned years ahead. You know, you have your master plans, you have town plans, and these are things that are provided for by LTA and HDB. You know, if it's anyone who deserves credit for building the MRTs, it's the tireless blue-collar workers and the migrant workers in Singapore. Our migrant workers literally built Singapore, but yet we have an MP who recently stepped down who said that it's okay for them to be transported at the back of lorries. The main point I want to make is that the government's programs will go ahead, whether it's the MRT or HDB's programs. And put simply, none of you are shortchanging yourselves by voting for Dr. Paul Tambaya come the 3rd of May. But guys, I mean, a genuine moment. Many people still actually think that, you know, if you don't vote for the PAP, you lose your MRTs and this and that, as though MRTs are built overnight. So please talk to your friends about this, talk to your family members about this. These are important conversations that we need to have. Let everybody know, that's right. My fellow Singaporeans, on the 3rd of May, when the SDP, if the SDP, or rather, when the SDP wins, remember, it will not be Dr. Paul Tambaya's victory, it will not be Dr. Chee Soon Juan's victory, it will be the victory of the Rakyat! It will be your victory! Ladies and gentlemen, just give them this one chance, 5 years, and see for yourself. In fact, you are not shortchanging yourself in any way. On the other hand, you, your children, your estate, and Parliament, and join me in saying this, by now you already know our slogan, will thrive, not just vote without fear, vote for change, come 3rd May. Remember, you are part of history in the making. Thank you.
Thank you, Arifin.
SDP! SDP!
Okay, guys, I need your help because there's still a lot of space on the left-hand side, my left-hand side. So I need all of you to shift to your right. Yeah, let the people from the outside the fence to come in. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's not enough space for them to move forward. So can we seek your cooperation to please move? Thank you very much. I can see people are moving. Thank you so much. And Singaporeans, before you go to buy 2509 in your 4D, please go to our merchandise booth, support us, support SDP. We need all your support to fight this election.
All right. So the next candidate will be Mr. Brian Lim Boon Heng, Vice Chairman of the Singapore Democratic Party.
To the, can the people at the back hear me? Good. I'm sorry I have to speak. I'm the only non-English speaking speaker today. So please bear with me for a while, alright? 各位亲爱的不给班长的选民，国民主党的支持者，大家好！我今日啊，不是来到表演口才，我是为大家、为咱国家讲真正的话。咱民主党无讲空话啊，无做戏。咱讲的是民生，咱关注的是你的生活，你的囝，你出来老人，你的将来对不对？但是做咩？王永康先生啊，伊无针对哦，你生活艰苦的代志哦，伫BAP群众大会讲话，伊了时间啊。在外口，咱的民主党的秘书长徐顺传的博士，咱知讲什么无？伊讲徐顺传博士哦，爱解释安怎伊放弃不给巴多去3万外竞选。哇，各位，我唔知卫生部部长会选去想去倒落选，看去边选。我要问王永康先生，你家己的党啊，调出主讲的颜金勇先生去帮过啊，国民党贝勒海是陈时玲先生调去出主讲，你考虑这几个选区的选民的心情无？有无？无嘛？我要问大家，这是部长应该讲的话，是不是应该讲的话？不是嘛？虽然咱有时做人啊，爱先家己照镜啦，莫问去甲选民无关系的代志，对不对？王永康先生。徐顺传博士爱选布拉宾，还是选陈刀沙，无管你这样啦。你也是有时间做临时的公家，安怎无时间来解决咱人民的痛苦，对不对？这医疗费啊，点点去，你有讲什么无？真侪新加坡的人民啊，有生来健康的问题，你有关心无？王永康先生，你该去劳工处写一款，看，伊就为着医疗费咧担心的老人，你有时间啊烦恼徐顺传博士伫倒落大选，安怎你家己无时间啊解释？安怎你支持啊？2025年到2028年，要去 Malaysia Live 的博会啊！你做一个部长，应该会知影，咱退休的这慢性病人、趁钱无够的中年人来讲，这 Malaysia Live 是一个真正的大的负担。咱 BAP 点讲，我来为未来做好的准备。但我要来问，当今就已经生活的艰苦了，倒落未来，对不对？一年赚100万的部长啊，花大风车，徛大风厝。 你徛政府厝啊，坐 MRT 我甲人亏笑，我不要紧嘞。MRT 哦有，但不是哦，点点歹。一个部长甲你讲嘞，讲你也是有办法食18块的 pasta， 你就莫为着5块的碗汤面靠北靠母啦。所以有一摆我去选区访问时阵，有一个安哥伊甲我安尼讲嘞，政府是要拼食风厝，咱人民是要冲劳工厝，对不对？你也是无相信，不要紧，你问山姆根啊、委员啦，伊会甲你解释啦。昨暝去宣传博士的对手玻璃山律师，昨暝批评那民主党的，伊讲什么？伊讲哦，我哋讲减个消费税到5%，但是哦无办法提出办法来保政府这条路。我要感谢玻璃山律师啦，提这问题。因为咱民主党早落之阵，落一替代的经济的政策，我总有这机会来解释咱民主党安怎保这消费税空。第一，新加坡2024年的预算案的营额是64亿，大家知影64亿偌济无？64加8空啊，后尾加8空。咱记住咧 ，BAP 是无办法咯，也这条路哦，传互后一届政府的，所以政府起消费税根本就是假收的，对不对？各位，咱莫忘记，咱出北京了800了，但是哦，你收的税你超过人民的需要时间。你有必要过来提高、提高消费税无？加咧讲有理由无？第二，政府一边甲你抽税，一边人甲你开税，伊甘愿开57200块买26顶卡拉车。唔知是什么卡踏车咧？一顶2200块，安尼贵，我买打看卖。政府伊甘愿开88万的，去什么本座汤中心嘛？个simply go stand 啊，加开4000万，为青年奥运会加开3亿块。为人民社会提供10亿俄罗家己，最近伊个开3.3个亿去建国食纪念碑 Founders Memorial。我国四袂做政府乱开销的唔惊讲，但是我讲落去哦，去宣传博士哦，咱就无时间讲话了。但伊也干那只来靠外头，政府也是乱开税，无论伊乱收偌济税，永远是无够的，对不对？所以，你就应该送咱民主党10个候选人去国会，监督 BAP 卖伫国会四散开税，对不对？第3点，咱党嘛提高奢侈品的消费税，佮取消基本的物件，咱糖、油、米的消费税。咱应该将奢侈品的消费税提高至18%，够较贵。 因为啊，这惨的老人啊，伊买药，伊嘛是还900仙，但是伊的屋里的一个查某啊，伊咱买一个 LV 的 handbag，嘛是抽900仙，所以这消费税也害着惨人。第四，我来党嘛摕对公民甲非公民的有钱人收38%的税，以及2000万有2000万起的产的有类人来做抽税。安尼sam Samu跟 Vivian 呢，都走袂闪了。最后，我的党嘛希望收入上开的100%的所得税的人，也收提高去28%。准啊，政府嘛咧抽24%尔，这个比发达经济体的水平愈更少。发达经济体的水平伫30到40%中。各位，咱了解我早早讲的5点无？会了解无？咱民主党的计划会通无？也是会通，请人5月3号到新加坡民主党，好无？感谢大家。
Thank you, Brian, for that cool speech.
Yes, thank you very much, Brian.
Okay, this speaker is the one that you have been waiting for.
Wait.
Oh, wait.
Because this is a very important speaker because he's going to represent you in Parliament. I need your cooperation. Those people at the fence, please move aside. People are outside, they cannot get in.
Yes,
so can I please have your cooperation? Please move to the side so that more people can join us.
Move to
more
your right.
people can listen to Dr. Paul. More people can vote for him into Parliament. So can I please seek your cooperation? Please move to my left-hand side. Thank you. Please move. And also, we need all the help and support. Our merchandise booth are behind. Please go and take a look at our merchandise. We have some very cute bear. And remember, I said about my tabole tahan tea. Get the bidding coming. We are receiving a few. Please approach our merchandise staff. Place your bidding and this t-shirt, you will go back with this t-shirt tonight.
Okay, where's my Bukit Panjang SMC residents?
Can I have your cheers and your whistle? SDP! Dr. Paul!
Okay, now introducing to you your candidate for Bukit Panjang SMC, Dr. Paul Tambaya.
The one you were sent to Parliament!
Dear residents of Bukit Panjang, thank you so much for coming here on this rainy evening. It's a real joy to be here. After the last 5 years from the days of COVID, so many of you have opened up your homes and your hearts to us. 15,576 of you voted for the Singapore Democratic Party in GE2020. We were just that close. Since then, we have visited your homes, we have shared your festivals, held public engagements, and learned a lot about what is going on in Bukit Panjang and how we can make life better for everyone, not just in Bukit Panjang, but also the rest of Singapore. Now, before I go into the bulk of my speech, I feel compelled to say something about the PAP rally from yesterday. So please bear with me, and I apologize if this is a bit out of focus or out of point, but that's what they were doing. So I've got nothing against Mr. Ong Ye Kung personally. And in fact, I have had a couple of social encounters with him where we've had some interesting banter. One of them was captured by the Tao Pao in August 2022, when the SDP announced that it was returning to Sembawang. So this afternoon, I listened to Ong Ye Kung's speech again, which I had heard last night, because I couldn't believe what I heard. Ong Ye Kung actually accused the candidate of abandoning his residence to go to a constituency for political agenda. Now, I wasn't sure if he was talking about Mr. Gan Kim Yong abandoning the residence of Chua Chu Kang, or my classmate, Dr. Tan Si Leng, abandoning Marine Parade. So he wanted them to be upfront, to tell voters that the reason why they had done that was for a political agenda and not because of the voters. Although he kept referring to Dr. Chi in his speech, it was quite obvious that somebody who abandoned their residence 1 hour before nomination day was far more questionable. Now, I do not know the internal dynamics of the PAP, but that seems to be not very nice. He also doubled down on the view that Sembawang West residents should not have more green spaces. Now, this is another puzzling idea first advanced by Ms. Poli San in response to a suggestion from residents themselves that more green spaces be made available in Sembawang West, perhaps as part of the urban renewal process for older HDB blocks. I guess that when his colleagues live in huge, palatial, good-class bungalows with gardens so large that you cannot see the house from the gate, they have no way to understand the concerns of ordinary Singaporeans, and I feel kind of sorry for them. He also suggested that it might be difficult for him to work with Dr. Chi if he wins Sembawang West. Well, if Dr. Chi wins Sembawang West and the SDP GRC team led by Brian Lim wins Sembawang GRC, then Mr. Ong will be back at Keppel. And I'm sure that the Sembawang Town Council led by Brian can invite him for some events where other government-linked companies are featured. Then he said, if we have more wealth taxes, less GST, cheaper HDB flats, and he didn't say, and the people of Singapore have better lives, the world might think we have gone crazy. International investors would be unhappy. To me, that actually crystallizes what this election is about. Do you want a government that has the interests of Singaporeans at heart, or one which operates for the benefit of the global finance industry? The choice is yours, and I hope you vote wisely on 3rd of May. Okay, enough about Sembawang. For tonight, I'd like to talk about Bukit Panjang. Now, as you know, this is an older estate, and many improvements have been made over the years by various government agencies, including a new polyclinic, the downtown line, the KJE Senja flyover, the new CMPB, numerous covered walkways, upgraded playgrounds, etc. These have all been funded by taxpayers. That includes you and I. And carried out by Singapore government agencies. Singapore government agencies have a well-deserved reputation in the region for being professional and efficient. They also have a reputation for being apolitical and not easily influenced by political influences. As such, there's no need to worry about the projects planned for Bukit Panjang or Sembawang Town or Marsiling UT for that matter. They will all be carried out professionally regardless of who is elected on May 3rd. Now, the way the PAP MPs claim credit for the hard work of government agencies, sounds a little like what is known as the rooster syndrome. I think you've heard this before. It's a story about a rooster who claims that the sun rises every day because he crows. He points to the evidence. Look, I crow and the sun rises and the people are blessed. Now, the Singapore government and civil service are amongst the world's most efficient, and they will continue to be so regardless of how many percent the PAP secures in the coming GE. If you don't believe me, ask the residents of Sengkang, Aljunied or Aokang. All of them still have the world's cleanest water. They have MRT breakdowns at the same rate as the rest of us. And they have the same kinds of HDB flats and services. And this will be true of Bukit Panjang. So vote without fear. In fact, some have argued that residents in opposition wards get 2 for the price of 1. As usually, the PAP loser is appointed the grassroots advisor, and they try very hard to provide more services than the elected MP. I'm not so sure that's a good strategy, but the bottom line is you should not be negatively affected by whoever when you vote for the SDP next Saturday. In fact, you will be very positively affected, as you will have an MP who will speak up for you in Parliament for all the issues that matter to Singaporeans. Last night I talked about taxation and how our taxation system seems to be designed to benefit the wealthy disproportionately. As Ms. Polisan pointed out, the programs put forward by political parties, and that includes the PAP, have to be paid for. While the SDP has put out a comprehensive plan for funding our programs through eliminating waste and ensuring fairer taxation, the PAP seems intent on funding all its high-profile programs by taking from the pockets of our citizens while giving handouts every now and again. As the saying goes in Singapore, when the government gives you a chicken wing, be careful because they will take back the whole chicken. The second pillar of our SDP manifesto is healthcare for all. That's the H, TH. This is something very dear to my heart and is indeed the reason why I got into politics in the first place. Now first, let me state up front, I'm not being critical of our public healthcare system. I've said many times, we have some of the world's best doctors, nurses, and allied health professionals. We also have good healthcare administrators. But the problem is the political environment under which they operate. Health economists generally believe you can only have 2 of excellence, efficiency, and equity. In Singaporean terms, cheaper, better, or faster. You can be cheaper and better, but not faster. Or cheaper and faster, but not better. So in the UK, for example, it's cheap and good, but it's not fast. In the US healthcare system, it's good and fast, but it's not cheap. In Singapore, we're facing huge challenges. In yesterday's Straits Times, the insurance industry responded to a letter from a surgeon who had written in about the difficulty of getting insurance to pay for a surgical procedure that was classified as prevention. The letter drew a positive response from the Ministry of Health, but the industry threw a cautionary note and said doctors should report insurance companies who are behaving badly to insurance companies. This is what they call in Singapore own self check own self. The bottom line is that healthcare policy needs to focus primarily on getting people well. The SDP healthcare plan involves small co-payments which are capped and operates on the basis that no one chooses to get cancer or a heart attack. There are few people who may ask for treatments which give them a quality of life which they think they deserve, but the insurance companies feel they are not entitled to. But the SDP healthcare plan is fully financially sound as it operates within the current healthcare financing budget. By eliminating huge administrative and development costs, the savings are passed down to you and I, and the barriers between private and public healthcare are broken down. It's not impossible. It's happened with the CHAS and PG system for dental care. You know, when the waiting time for dental appointments was really, really long, now it's a lot better. But it could definitely be included to medical care as well. Some baby steps are taken with Healthy SG, but what we need is a bold new initiative. And that's what the SDP's healthcare insurance plan is all about. I've talked about this in numerous videos, and I'd be happy to debate the PAP anytime in this campaign or after. In fact, one of the reasons I admire Professor Tommy Koh so much is that 11 years ago, he managed to get the PAP to debate me on healthcare financing. You can still look it up, it's on YouTube. It's called the Tembusu Forum. Mr. Lam Pin Min represented the PAP at the university, moderated by Prof. Koh. Since then, I've offered to do it again, but so far we have had no response. Please let me know if this can be arranged. The bottom line is that Bukit Panjang is an aging town. There are many things that need to be improved. The LRT renewal needs to be done. There's areas of cleanliness that need to be improved. But more than that, as a country, we need to take stock of where we are after 60 years of PAP rule. And the time has come to vote for change. To vote to make your lives better, the lives of your families better, and to vote for a Singapore where everyone can thrive. Vote without fear. Vote for the SDP on May the 3rd. Thank you.
Dr. Paul. Dr. Paul. Today I feel like I'm doing a fashion show, you know. Can you see what am I wearing?
No more the tak boleh tahan t-shirt anymore.
No. Dr. Chi for Bukit Batok. Dr. Chi for Bukit Batok. What happened to Bukit Batok?
Gone. What happened to Bukit Batok?
But you know what? Yes, correct. But Dr. Chin never give up. Like I say, they can cut anywhere they want. They cut here, they cut there, but they will never cut away SDP spirits. They will never cut away Dr. Chi. My t-shirt is a collector's item again. So please, support us. Go to the merchandise booth. Tell my fellow volunteers how much you will want to bid for this t-shirt. I am willing to give it up because there's no more Bukit Batok. You can actually buy and give to Mr. Ong.
Okay, this is the candidate you have been waiting for also. Where's my residents of Sembawang? Where's SMC?
And before we welcome him, can I have a request to please move to the side, to the left side, so that more people can hear, can listen to Dr. Chi. Please, can I have your cooperation? Move to the left so that those people outside can come in.
For the last speech, I need you guys to be full of energy.
Dr. Chi, let me formally introduce you, the man who I said is the most deserving man in Singapore to be in Parliament. The PAP has called him a liar, a cheat, a psychopath, but he is still standing tall today.
Yes. Dr. Chi.
Can we now, with all your cheers, welcome Dr. Chi to the stage?
Thank you, everybody. There are just some technical issues. I just need to take care of. Just give us a few more minutes.
SDP, Dr. Chi. Singaporeans, would you want to see Dr. Chi in Parliament? Does he deserve to be in Parliament?
Yes.
When you go to the poll this Saturday on 3rd of May, please, Sembawang West resident, please vote for Dr. Chi. Sembawang 的选民们，记得投许胜权一票，把他带入国会，替你们人民发言。And while we are waiting, we have merchandise right behind. Please go and support. Buy a book or two. Dr. Chi books are also for sale. And later he will be signing autograph around here. So please go and support. And we also need volunteers for polling agent, counting agent, and also our ground ops. Please go to the merchandise, sign up as a volunteer, help bring our candidates to Parliament. And tomorrow, SDP rally will be at Evergreen Primary School. We hope to see you there tomorrow.
Guys, don't be quiet. Where's the cheers?
The louder your cheer, the faster Dr. Chi will be on stage. Dr. Chi! SDP! Dr. Chi!
Ready?
SDP! Dr. Chi! SDP! And I seek your cooperation again. Please help move so that our supporters can actually watch the rally and can hear Dr. Chi speaks. So please help move to the other side, move to my left-hand side. Thank you very much. My goodness. Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, the man you are waiting for. Dr. Chi.
Thank you. Thank you, my friends. Thank you, my fellow Singaporeans, for turning out in such great numbers. It's very heartwarming to see all of you here. Mr. Ong Ye Kung, Miss Poli San, I don't want to talk about them anymore. Because I want to talk about something altogether more important to you, to your family. Singapore needs foreigners to survive. That was the headline on Channel News Asia, 23rd January 2025. It was an interview that Channel News Asia, CNA, did with Minister for Manpower, Dr. Tan See Leng. Now, let me repeat that headline. Singapore needs foreigners to survive. Let that sink in for a moment, my friends. After 60 years of nation building, after 60 years of one party, PAP rule, where the government was given, indeed, demanded absolute power to craft whatever policy it wanted, to design whatever system that it desired, whether it was in education, whether it was in our economy, whether it was on population growth. After 60 years, we are now told that without foreigners, our country cannot survive. How did we come to this? If foreigners are here to bring on the icing on the cake, that would have been different. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got to take another break because the system is just not working again. I apologize for this. I'll be back in a little while.
Commercial break. So what will happen?
Advertisement.
Advertisement, of course. Come on, Bukit Batok. Dr. Chi t-shirt. Bukit Batok, this t-shirt. One and only. One and only. Dr. Chi was supposed to be the member of parliament in Bukit Batok. But look what happened. Look what happened. Gerrymandering. And they have the trick to tell us, or to tell Dr. Chi, he has to answer to the Bukit Batok residents. So what about all those who never answer to their residents, including Ng Chee Meng? Polisan? Who else come? Name me. What is the son of Pongo? Become son of Amokyo, right?
Correct, yep.
So, all this gerrymandering is done by them. And Dr. Chi or the SDP, they are only given 1 month. 1 month to walk the ground. But we have never complained. Whatever they throw at us, we will still take it and we still fight. Because we believe we are doing all this for you, for our fellow Singaporeans, because we want you to thrive, not just survive.
That's right, Jesslyn. We want all of you to thrive, but just not. Okay, so are we ready? Come on, don't be quiet lah.
Are we ready?
SDP. Okay, you guys That's right. There's big flags flying around. Can I see all the flags? I cannot see. Some of them.
Yes, wave your flag and let me hear your whistle.
Yes, make sure the media cover you all.
Thank you very much. SDP don't give you chicken rice. SDP don't provide bus for you to go back. But you all came despite not having chicken rice, despite not having buses to send you all here.
Despite not having $1 eggs.
Correct. And on behalf of my party, on behalf of my 11 candidates, we thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here with us.
Just asking, how many of you already redeem your $1 eggs? Nobody redeem,
I like that. They got backbone. Don't be bought over by $1 because today they take $1 from you. What will happen? They will take 100 back from you. So don't ever bow down to that.
Okay, I've been walking the ground with Dr. Paul for the last 5 years. And you know what I learned from him is humility. Something that I treasure very much. And for every small event that I actually, invited him over, he actually attends them. And it's not like the PAP MPs with large crowds, with entourage. He alone came to support me. And this is the reason why I support him till this very date and the years after. And I assure you, he will be the person that will take care of you and be responsible and accountable for you.
Yes. So, Bukit Panjang residents, please send Dr. Paul to Parliament. 五级班让的居民们，你们有的那个神圣的一票，那一张票，会帮淡米亚博士把他送入国会，让他帮你发言。Okay, let's return the stage back to Dr. Chi.
Thank you, everyone. Again, my apologies for the technical breakdown. Let me continue. If foreigners are here to put the icing on the cake, to help us excel in a certain industry or certain sector, in other words, supplement our economy, it wouldn't be so hard to swallow. But after all that we have sacrificed, after all our obedience and doing as we were told over the decades, now find that we don't have the ability, the smarts, the drive to take our own country forward, and that we need foreigners so that our country will not die, that's very hard to take. But before I go on, I want to be absolutely clear that the SDP is not anti-foreigner. I want to add that as Singaporeans, we do not demonize our guests. We do not dehumanize them. We are better than that because we are Singaporeans. We will treat every individual in Singapore, citizen or not, with respect, with kindness, and with dignity. It is not the foreigner whom we are fighting against. It is the irrational, the irresponsible immigration policy of the PAP that we are questioning. And I will show you with hard, irrefutable evidence that if we continue with the PAP so-called foreign talent policy, our economy and our community will sink. And when that happens, foreigners will not even have a place to come to make your money. And let me start with mental health. Now I'm going to give you a set of figures, hard statistics, to show you what I mean. 49% of Singaporeans, that's half of our population, report feeling depressed to the point that they feel sadness and hopelessness almost every day for weeks at a time. 25% of Singaporeans say that they feel stressed to the point where they cannot cope or deal with things. 27% of our young adults say that they have seriously considered self-harm or suicide at least once in recent months. 10% have had these thoughts on multiple occasions in the past year. Almost 40% say that they have to take time off from work due to stress. 70% of younger employees say they have experienced burnout because of work. 1 in 3 youths experience severe symptoms of depression, anxiety, and stress. 9 in 10 Singaporeans reported feeling stressed. Only 1 in 10% of Singaporeans feel that they are in command of their lives and energy. Of these, 16% feel that the stress is not manageable. Do I need to go on? I'm not trying to scare you, my friends. I'm simply laying out the facts. Facts as they are reported in our mainstream media. And these are studies conducted by the IMH and other international mental health organizations. Check it out for yourselves. The World Mental Health Report in 2023 found that Singaporeans indicated that mental health is the biggest health problem in the country. Bigger than cancer, bigger than diabetes. Straits Times described youth mental health as a, quote, crisis. And the Business Times reported that stress among Singaporean workers is at an epidemic level. However you look at it, ladies and gentlemen, we have a serious problem on our hands. In economic terms, a Duke NUS IMH joint study calculated that we, and I quote, could be losing close to $16 billion a year, or around 2.9% of GDP, because of mental health issues, unquote. 2 factors cause the crisis. One is the cost of living. Channel News Asia reported in 2022 that the cost of living is the main source of our mental health struggles. I talked about the cost of living yesterday at the rally at Choa Chu Kang. The other factor is overpopulation, overcrowding. The National Institute of Mental Health in the United States says that, quote, global increases in population and housing density have exacerbated overcrowding in cities, which has been associated with feelings of negative emotional arousal and a higher risk of mental health disorders. So, just how crowded is Singapore? We are the 3rd most densely populated country in the world. We have just surpassed the 6 million mark, a record that is unprecedented in our history. That growth is fueled by the increase in foreigners. 43% of our population is made up of foreigners. We have the 5th highest proportion of foreign labor in the world, after UAE, United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain, and Oman, which I don't have to tell you are all oil-producing countries. Now, in 2008, more than 15 years ago, listen to this very carefully, Mr. Lee Hsien Loong, he warned at that time, and I quote, "We already have almost 1 million foreigners working here. We cannot imagine simply expanding year after year and one day having 2 million foreigners working in Singapore. We just do not have the space for that." Unquote. 2 million. That is what Mr. Lee said. That's the number he cited. Today, the number of foreigners has reached 1.94 million. In a space of slightly more than 15 years, our number of foreigners here in this country has doubled. Where is the space for this? What happened in between? Did Mr. Lee change his mind? That we just don't have the space for 2 million foreigners? But his wife is even more gung-ho. Madam Ho Ching said this island can accommodate up to 8 to 10 million people. She said, and I quote on her Facebook, "So with good city planning, not to mention land reclamation for a 3D city, we can accommodate up to 8 to 10 million people," unquote. Where does she live? Where do we live? Now, Madam Ho is not exactly a nobody in politics. She is a senior member of the PAP, and we all know that she is the wife of the former PM and one of the world's most powerful women. Already, our mental health crisis is so bad with 6 million people, and Madam Ho is thinking of increasing it to 10 million. And yet, no one in the government refuted a statement and said loudly and clear that we cannot and will not have 10 million people in Singapore. If you remember, in 2020, when I had that televised debate with Dr. Vivian Balakrishnan, he chewed me out. He scolded me for even saying that we might get to 10 million. But in this case here, he's very quiet and hasn't refuted anything that Madam Ho Ching said. As I mentioned, overcrowding does not only cause mental health problems. It also causes several problems for our society. One, it puts up upward pressure on our cost of living. The law of supply and demand dictates that when you have more people, there will be greater demand of goods and services, and that will cause prices to increase. Two, to accommodate a larger population, more flats, roads, hospitals, public transportation, all have to be built, which means that the government will need to constantly raise taxes and prices to increase its revenue in order to build and maintain this added infrastructure. And this is just going to add to the pressure of our cost of living. Three, an upsurge of population also means more intense competition for jobs, which puts downward pressure on wages. I don't have to tell you that many Singaporeans have had to resort to driving Grab and delivering food to make a living. Unemployment and underemployment are huge, real problems in Singapore. Many of our fresh graduates remain unemployed 6 months after graduation and are finding it more and more difficult to secure jobs. Four, can our infrastructure cope with the enormous expansion of our population? Is this the cause of the constant breakdown of our MRT system? The latest was it yesterday or the day before at Pasir Ris? Five, forests are cleared. Land have to be reclaimed, like what Ho Ching said. And open spaces are filled by more buildings and roads. Recently, Tengah Forest was razed and is now a massive HDB estate. Kranji Forest was cleared by mistake and earmarked for industrial development. Dover Forest was also cleared for housing. Clementi Forest is zoned for housing. and the old turf city in Bukit Timah is being developed for more BTO flats. The Singapore Turf Club in Kranji, not far from here, is now slated for redevelopment, and then a large piece of land called the Greater Southern Waterfront was reclaimed for HDB development. Who and what are we building all this for? Especially when our birth rate is declining. And speaking of birth rate, I want to highlight this to you. Our total fertility rate has dropped like an anchor. It plummeted to a historic low of 0.97 births last year. My friends, if you have your mobile phone with you right now, I'd like you to take it out and go to my Facebook or Instagram or TikTok very quickly. Just type Chee Soon Juan on this platform, and I want you to go to it, because I want to show you an important picture. I want you to show you this chart. If you're on it right now, take a look at the chart that I just posted. At the top of the picture is the graph for the decline of our TFR. Now take a look at the graph below, which shows the escalation of the number of foreigners in Singapore. Do you see a very frightening picture emerging? Do you still think that the PAP's plan to import more and more foreigners while our TFR is falling is the solution? What's going to happen to the composition of this country? What about our identity as a people and our bond as a nation? Now, in case you think I'm being a drama queen, I want you to listen to what our founding minister said. Mr. Goh Keng Swee, who many remember as being the architect of our economy, he warned, and I quote, "At what point do we stop importing foreigners? Because of our limited land area, it will produce overcrowding to increasingly uncomfortable limits," unquote. Remember, he said this in 1972 when our population was only 2 million at that time. Another one of the first generation ministers, Mr. Hon Swee Sen, also warned of the dangers of foreign labor. He said, "It is plainly undesirable on political and social grounds that we should have to depend on a large foreign workforce." Do the younger ministers know what they are doing? Do they even care? If I have not said it, I will say it now. We have an existential problem in our country. And if we continue to allow the PAP to bring in more and more foreigners, our problems of mental health, cost of living, overcrowding, environmental degradation, and overall quality of life are all going to worsen. Even our new citizens, you're not going to be spared because you're here with us on this island now. This is why we must press Mr. Lawrence Wong to tell us in this GE, before we vote next Saturday, what population size does he think is optimal for Singapore? He cannot just give us motherhood statements, like we must welcome foreigners, but we will carefully manage the inflow. No. This is a straw man argument. No one is saying that we want to close our doors. The SDP is certainly not saying that we want zero immigration. What we are saying is that the sheer volume that we're letting in foreigners is hurting this country, and it is unsustainable. SDP MPs in Parliament will work with the government to ensure that we do everything we can to assimilate and build unity with our new citizens and foreigners in Singapore. But that does not give the PAP license to keep on increasing the number of foreigners into the country. We must be more judicious more sensible in our immigration policy. As I said, Mr. Lawrence Wong must tell Singaporeans he must articulate a clear plan on what he sees as the optimal population size for Singapore. And he must say it in this GE. Former prime ministers have all said something about this. Under Mr. Goh Chok Tong, there was this Singapore concept plan which said 6.5 million seems like a number we can work with. Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, when he was alive, said that he was not quite sold on 6.5 million and advocated 5.5 million. Under Mr. Lee Hsien Loong, the white paper mentioned 6.9 million. And it got such a huge backlash that it was quickly withdrawn. Mr. Lawrence Wong has kept conspicuously mum about this. But he cannot elak any longer. He must tell Singaporeans in this GE his plan as far as population size is concerned. On the other hand, the SDP has laid out a comprehensive alternative on how we can take Singaporeans forward into the immediate future. I will lay this out for you in the next couple of days, and I promise you, you will find it realistic and viable. But many of you ask, isn't a bigger population needed for our economy to grow? Now, smaller populations are not necessarily a bad thing. Take a look at some of the Scandinavian countries. Sweden's population, for example, is slightly bigger than ours. It's about 10 million. But look at what they are able to produce. They're capable to sell to the world. IKEA, you heard that. Spotify, Volvo, H&M, Sandvik, and the list goes on. Denmark, a population of 6 million, similar to ours, is home to global brands like Maersk, Carlsberg, Pandora, Bang & Olufsen, and Lego. And then there's Taiwan. Its population is 23 million. Yes, bigger than ours, but smaller than Malaysia's. Yet it has an outsized entrepreneurial base. Its Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, or TSMC, is the world's biggest producer of semiconductor chips. It is the 12th biggest company in the world by market capitalization. It gave the world bubble tea, Din Tai Fung, Acer, Evergreen, so on. And it has produced 4 Nobel Prize laureates. And speaking of Nobel laureates, Norway has a population of 5.5 million, but has produced 14 prize winners. Finland, also a population of about 5 million, 5 Nobel laureates. Even Luxembourg, a country of only 650,000, about 1/10 of ours, has produced 2 laureates. Is it any surprise that these countries are all more innovative than us and all have labor productivity higher than ours? In sports, New Zealand has a population half the size of ours, and yet their rugby team, the All Blacks, is world conquering. Iceland, with a population of only 400,000, made it to the World Cup finals, mind you, in 2018. And I think they beat England too, right? 400,000 population. Uruguay, population half of Singapore's, is ranked 11th in the world. And here we are, struggling in Southeast Asian football. If you have not guessed by now, my friends, it's not the size of the population, it's the quality. Here in Singapore, we have the potential, we have the talent, we have the energy to do big things. The only thing that's stopping us is the PAP squatting on top of all that happens on this island and hoarding front and center of everything we do. For now, I hope you will absorb everything I said in this rally. I know it is a lot to take in, but I implore you, I beseech you to listen to it carefully and really think about our future, our children's future, our nation's future. We don't have to cheer and shout, but I ask you to soberly reflect on what I've just told you this evening about the seriousness of the problem that our nation faces. If you care about our future, if you care about the cost of living and how it's affecting your life, if you care about your health, your children's health, especially mental health, then you have the sacred obligation next Saturday to send the clearest message yet to the PAP that we must change. Don't just walk into the polling booth, my friends. Tell everybody you know. As I said, I've given you facts. I've used logic to persuade you. If you see it, you will realize the enormous problem that our country faces. And yet, with all the problems that I mentioned about mental health, our Minister for Health, Mr. Ong Ye Kung, continues to try to berate me on my leaving Bukit Batok and going to Sembawang West. I will have a lot more to say about this at tomorrow's rally at Sembawang West, and I will address what he has said and what Ms. Poli's son has said too. For now, let me take the last few minutes to talk a little bit about my colleague and friend, Professor Paul Tambaya. He has been a very able chairman of the SDP, and one could not have asked for a better colleague to serve with. Our party is very fortunate to have him as a candidate for Bukit Panjang. Now, I don't have to go on, because nothing I say will do justice to his contribution to the SDP and to the cause of the opposition. Let me just invite him back up on stage to give the closing remarks at this rally. But before I do, you must vote for Paul Tambaya, vote for SDP, and he will make Bukit Panjang so proud. Thank you all, and have a good night. It's all yours. Yeah, thank you.
Dear residents of Bukit Panjang, thank you all for your support. But what we need is those people who are not here. So go out there, tell your friends, tell your family, tell them there's nothing to be afraid of. Don't believe all these crazy stories about how they can trace your vote. They cannot. Your vote is secret. I have been there in the Supreme Court, and I've seen them take the boxes and take them to the incinerator and burn them. They're gone. Nobody knows how you voted. So vote without fear. Vote for change. Vote for a Singapore where we all can thrive. Vote for the SDP. 亲爱的乌鸡班长居民，请你们投新加坡民主党一票。Warga Bukit Panjang, undilah Parti Demokratik Singapura. SDP ke bakal diunggul. Thank you very much. Good night.
Dr. Paul, Dr. Chi, Dr. Paul, do you want to see them in Parliament? Do they deserve to be in Parliament? So when you go to the poll on the 3rd of May, not Bukit Batok anymore, Sembawang West and Bukit Panjang residents, please vote for Dr. Chi and Dr. Paul to be in Parliament, to be your voice in Parliament. Before we end the night, we will have to make some announcement. There's no free bus to bring you back. Please go back. Think about what our candidates has presented to you. Think through it. And when you go to the poll on the 3rd, please vote for SDP. And for Don't leave first. The merchandise store is behind. Please support SDP. Please buy Dr. Chi books and buy our merchandise. And we have a supporter right in front. I can't see you because the lights are very glaring. But Dr. Chi and Dr. Paul will be right in front with you because the police don't allow, but they want to garland our two candidates. So can I have Dr. Chi and Dr. Paul in front for them to garland? And the books autographed by Dr. Chi will also be right in front. We cannot do it there. And ladies and gentlemen, please join me, our 11 candidates. Thank you very much. SDP! It's 10 o'clock sharp.
Can pull wire, please. Okay, I block. Go behind me. Take picture. Take picture for you. No, I take picture.
他们在经文问他了，你好，Dr. Paul，对这次的选举有什么想法？这个就是访问，这个叫。
Yeah, sure.